What's going on, guys? Today we're going to make one of the easiest, simplest meat stick, like Slim Jim type style recipe. It's going to knock you off your blocks. What? Block? I don't know. You're going to fall off something. Basically, the only two things you're going to need is a meat grinder, whether it's off your KitchenAid, which these work just fine. I'd like to have one of the standalone ones, but hell, I got this. It works. If you got one of these and you probably have the meat or the sausage stuffer, that, personally, when I use one of those, all I do is sit there and daydream of a 12 gauge shotgun breath mint. I freaking hate it. It's horrible. So I'm going to be showing off my new sausage stuffer. This thing is badass. Ignore that sound in the background. It's him going in and out of his doggy door. And I should be showing that off. Real easy recipe. Maybe 5 ingredients. Super simple. Alright guys, we're going to be doing a 17mm casing, so it's going to be about the size of Slim Jims. And we're doing about an 8.5 pound pork tenderloin. So let's get into cutting that up, as I just pulled it out of the freezer. It's been in there for about an hour, hour and a half, get it good and stiff. Makes it easier to chop. From there, when I chop it, I'm putting it into a double bowl here. Bigger bowl, you'll see in a second. It's full of ice and water. Keep everything nice and chilled. So let's get to it. Little trick here. We still got meat all the way back up into here. We want to get that out. Grab yourself a piece of bread. Throw that down in there, like so. And just be ready to shut it off as soon as you start seeing any crumbs come out. Just like so. And there you go. And that, just toss off. A couple little pieces there. That's it. Let's get to mixing this. We got our 8.5 pounds of meat. Let's see here, where you at? Very teriyaki. Love this stuff. Kind of expensive, but it's the best. Next time, I'm going to be making my own. So, I use one of these for every 5 pounds. Let's get one in there. And then we'll get the other one in there. It's going to be a little bit of extra. I'm probably not going to put this whole thing in there. Then we're going to throw in, this is cure number 1. We're going to go with half a teaspoon per 2 pounds. So we're going 2 1/4 teaspoons of that. We're going 6 finely diced up jalapenos, seeds and all. I go 3 jalapenos per 5 pounds. And then half a bag, 4 ounces of pepper jack cheese for every 5 pounds. So we're just going to put the whole thing in there. Just like so. Now, let's get our hands dirty. Now at this point, we're going to toss this in the fridge. Let it sit overnight. Tomorrow morning, you're going to get up, we're going to stuff it and smoke it. Yeah, remember those days in high school? So let's get her going. Getting it on there sometimes, oh, that wasn't easy. All you do is just slide it right up on there. Now see, good girls can do this with their mouth, but I'm not a good girl, so I can't. What? Why did I even have to take it there? How rude, Bubba. Slide on as much as you can, especially since you know you're going to use at least this whole thing, which, believe it or not, this one sheet right here will do at least about 10 pounds of meat. Actually, I think this whole thing says it will do 20 pounds of meat for both tubes. And they work pretty good. You do not soak these. These are collagen cases. Whereas natural casings, you do soak. I do have some of those. To be honest with you, these are easier to work with. I just like these better. But if I'm going to do boudin, which I have before, which that's the one that wanted me to eat a 45 caliber on my KitchenAid meat stuffer. That one I use natural casings. And that worked real good. And I just set these aside. Then we're going to go ahead and crank it out. And Chuck, don't think like that. Just pushing this down. Don't tie off the end yet because we want to get all the air out of there. So we're going to, I don't know if you guys can see it. You're going to let the meat get all the way through the tube, right to where it gets to the end. You don't need to go real fast. Okay, see how it comes out? Now you back it off. It takes the stress off. Just take these little bits like that, set them aside. We can put them back in there. Grab your string. Give it a little tie. A little tie. Want to get high? Like so. And then, rock to the horse. What? Rock to the races. And here we go. Now just kind of guide it. It's really all you want to do. You don't want to put too much pressure on it because you'll get a blowout if you do. Just kind of let it go. See that? I found that when I was putting too much pressure on it, I get a lot of blowouts. And where I thought it was loose like this, it actually comes out just fine. So just let her go. We're not trying to make a summer sausage here that has to be real tight, but after this is smoked, it comes out perfect. All right, so you see what I'm doing? Now let me get to it. Okay, now that we got it all stuffed up, let's get it on the grill. We're working over a light smoke of applewood, and all I like to do is just kind of start in the middle and work our way out with a coil. I don't like to go more than one layer because then you start getting uneven cooked. The bottom kind of burns, not cooked but smoke, and it really just doesn't come out quite so hearty like I like it. So you know, one layer. We're only going to smoke for about an hour. We're running at about 250, 275, and being that this is so small, narrow, it smokes up pretty quick. So that should be plenty good. And in a couple hours it should be done. I'll definitely be munching in less than that. So let's just get to it. And there we go. First batch is done. It was in there for about an hour and 40 minutes at about 200, 220 degrees. Good smoke. Let's give her a taste. What I like to do once it's done, I pick out my stick size and we just go along just like that. We're going to get a few of them cut up just like so, and then we'll let them rest. But in the meantime, I want to taste it, so let me zoom out here and let's have a bite. Okay guys, this looks real good. I think it probably came out pretty good. Let's give it a shot. Oh yeah, it's nice, sweet. The back note of that jalapeno. And pick up the cheese in there too. Really good. Really simple recipe. One thing I forgot to mention. When you first do up your sausage, if you want, I've done this recipe before, so I know it's going to be alright. Before you let it sit overnight, go ahead and take a little piece of that and fry up a little patty. It's going to tell you whether you got your flavor or you want it, or if you need to add more to it. Go have fun with this. This is awesome. This is the third time I've done this. Just this. This is the third time I've done this recipe. I'm going to move on to something next. Something else next. And just kind of play with it. Next one I think is going to be more of a savory. Always got to be a hot element to it. I love that stuff. Alright guys, cheers. Have a good one. And have fun with it. Cooking's a blast.